Hello again, people of YouTube, it's InfernoRemastered here. Now today I'm back in Portal 2 Let's Build, and now today I'm just going to show you how to make some simple things in Portal 2. Uh, Basically some mechanisms that will help you make two-player maps. So if you uh, watch Rage's channel and are having some need some help or ideas on how to make some mechanisms work. So now, if you watch me failing at parkour against Rage, yep, I am the best at parkour, obviously, you know. But if you watch me fail at my parkour against Rage, you'll notice I had some mechanisms opening and closing, and how I got these items to open and close. So I'm going to show you that and a couple of others which weren't in that map, which are another map of mine, which is just for you guys to play, which I'll put a link in the description. Now, so on the first part of my chamber, you noticed I had. So hold on, that's the exit. Firstly, let's make this a multiplayer map. So to make it a multiplayer map, go up to File, and you just tick the box for Cooperative Puzzle, and that changes the entrance to a cooperative entrance. Now, first thing which I've managed to do is, if you want to split the people so they cannot cross sides, all you have to do is set a beam bridge right in the center here, and that needs to be aimed so it goes down the center. So when that starts, this beam bridge will carry on into the spawn area, and they'll be stuck, not able to cross over and cheat and go into the other person's side. Because if you watch Raze's latest episode, I have a checkpoint on the side which allows them to get to the second part of the chamber quicker, and I didn't want somebody getting to the second part and then the other person dying and just going through their chamber. So this way they have to take their routes and it's a race to the end. So that's firstly how to split your competitors so they take two separate routes, so they can't go left or right, because I did do a thing with buttons, so one would step on the button to send them through a door, so one would go one way, and then the other one would push a button. But the problem is if one person dies, they then can't get back through the door. So this way it just splits it down the middle, and they can both go on their way. Now the second part. So let's just make another room for the competitors. Let's just move the exit away somewhere. See, now it's on two player. The exit is actually too high, much like the entrance. So here I can place it here, but I cannot place the exit up here because it doesn't have the second block above it, although it only shows as one block. Now the next room, oops, wrong way. I'll show you how I make these mechanisms. So, as I'm not going to make this such a map, I'm not going to make it huge. So firstly, oh dear, I've selected too much. There we go. So first we need the item you want to jump across. So it was just an angled plate. And that's like so. Now I set the angle, this is too far open, so I changed the angle of this to only 30%, so it's nice and close. Now to get this to open and close, you need to create a separate mechanism which isn't reachable from the map. So just add some blocks like so. So you've got this block that's unreachable. Now here I just have a button on the floor. Now when this button is pushed, it's going to close the door, making it open and close. So basically you just need to place a cube here. So this button is going to be connected to the door that is going to start open, and the button is also going to be connected to the respawner. So when the cube drops down onto the button, it will respawn another cube, which will then fall down. Every time it hits this button, this is going to close. Sometimes it will close fully, sometimes it only close halfway, and the length of time you want in between each movement, obviously the closer the spawner is to the button, the quicker it's going to push the button, and if you set the button further away, the time in between each button push, because the cube has to fall, is going to be longer or less. So at the end of my parkour map I had two of these. So the second one simply had a lower chamber, so they were moving separately, so they'd move at different intervals, so it made it harder to get across the jump. So I'm not going to link the second one up, but it'd be linked up in exactly the same way. So this will make this move in and out. Now your competitor won't even know that this is happening off the map. Now if you set it close to the map, they'll hear the cube spawning and despawning, so it's nice to set this as far away from your map as possible. So that allows these to move in and out and intermittently. Now the second concept I've come up with is when your competitors get further into your map, is I've made a co-op map, which I'm going to have a link in the description, which has a lot of these mechanisms in there. Now I wanted a door for the co-op map, a single door in the middle for them both to get through. In fact, so let's just do this. So let's say once they've completed the parkour and they get to here, I want them to open this door here for them both to continue into the same chamber, so I no longer want them separate. So if I place a button either side for them to stand on, and I'm going to have a door which is closed. So again, we need to have an off-screen mechanism. Just set the door. So you need to come off to the side. Now I want this so that when they both step on the button, it opens this door. So they both need to be stepped on the buttons at the same time. Now to do that, I have made this little mechanism. Now firstly you need a logic gate, an AND, so it means these two things have to be active for this item to be activated. So I could, if I set this as the door, if I just connect this direct to the door, they'd both step on these plates and then the door would open, but as soon as one of them stepped off, the door would close. But firstly also I want to connect these both to the AND. Connect to, and so now when both these buttons are pushed, this is going to activate something. So over here we have there's a slight delay with this, but there is a button, and this button is connected to the door, and we are going to have both a cube above it. Now the cubes do not always sit nicely on the button, so they tend to 90% of the time they fall off to the side. So we'll open the door for a split second, and then it won't stay, and the doors will close, and then they'll be stuck. So I always set a angled plate here, and I set a second cube. This could be a second cube. I always find sometimes this cube will land on top of this cube in the corner. So the way I've always found that seems to be 100% successful is to use a spear, for this will roll down next to the cube. So with both of these two, the spear and the cube down in this gap, one of them will always be on the button, so it won't glitch and the door will open. So when you step on these two buttons here, when they're both still on a button each, this is connected to both of these, and I need to turn off the auto drop first cube so the first cube doesn't drop, otherwise the button would be already turned on. So no one person can continue past this point, because no one person can stand on both of these at the same time. So by the players standing on both these buttons at the same time, it drops both these cubes, they land on the button, which will then open this door, and it will stay open because with the two cubes it means one of them will land on the button. You don't need to do the double cube for these because these are falling, it will always tap the button before falling to one side. So the fact it taps the button, it respawns the cube before it falls to one side. So it will always keep respawning the cubes. But with this, we want the button to stay on once they've activated it. So with this, when they both step on the buttons, this is going to turn the door on. So and I always want to select and hide your inputs. So connection visibility, none. So none of these lines show up. So these dead straight lines show up to show you in the creative mode what's connected to what. But the player won't be able to see those. That is basically my basic tutorial. I'll probably have more in the future, but this is just some simple designs. I mean, these buttons of these things moving out and in, they don't just have to be used for these. These could be used for beam bridges if you want beam bridges to turn on and off. So when they're walking across a beam bridge, it's going to randomly turn on and off, so they've got to get across there quick. You could use these for stairs going up and down. So I've got lots of ways to frustrate rage in the future. I mean, I can even use it for crushes, so they're going to randomly activate crushes, so the spikes will just come out at random intervals. I could even use it to randomly turn a laser on, which is activating, opening a door, or even to have a door open and close. So they've got to run through a door, or even kill lasers, as a matter of fact. So you can connect these up to lots of items. Again, with this system, this button doesn't. The, both of them standing on these pressure plates means this is at the moment it's just opening a door. It doesn't have to open the door. Again, you could use that to deactivate a laser. You could use it so it turns on a beam bridge for them to get somewhere. So these can be used in multiple ways. It could be used to turn on a piston platform or a moving platform, so they can then get to another part of the chamber. So both of these can be used in multiple ways with lots of different items. So I hope this helps you guys that are building maps for Rage some help. A lot of people who send maps into Rage, you'll probably find if you do send him a map, the first 2 or 3 maps you send him in, he probably will not play. Even my maps, he didn't play any of my first maps I sent in. It just wasn't until my 4th map I sent in he got around to play. I'm sure Rage is swamped and swamped and swamped with loads and loads of maps every week. So he only constantly plays mine because I'm part of the 5 that constantly make good chambers. So luckily for me, he enjoys. I say he enjoys to play my maps. I don't think he does enjoy them too much. I wouldn't be Inferno if he did enjoy them. But there we go. I hope you guys enjoyed. And next week I will be back to my normal Let's Build where I'll be showing you how I built my frustration map for both Rage and Unisjet. So I didn't want to bother showing you me building my parkour map because for me that was a rushed parkour just to help Rage for his first episode. And parkour was quite boring to build. It's just making gaps for people to jump across. So, and I fail at it. So I'm not going to show you a Let's Build on my parkour. That was really simple. I've showed you how I've made the mechanisms in there. And that's basically everything. So I shall see you guys next week. And I just want to say how I'm happy that I beat Unisjet at a laser puzzle. Well, I didn't beat him, but he couldn't solve mine. So, anyway, see you guys next time.